Hello, hello to welcome to Weekly Wealth Wisdom, where I bring in some insights and channelings for this week for you around wealth. And I'm shuffling the cards, and last time I didn't show the cards, so somebody thought I didn't draw them. And I don't know. Maybe sometimes I'll show them, sometimes I won't. I don't know about it. Maybe if I'm feeling cute. Okay. So, what I really, yeah, want to talk to you guys today about is your desires. So this says, I want to harmonize with my desires. I think that's really important. It's really important to understand the connection between desires and wealth. And I've been speaking about this for quite some time. And, really, when I say desires, I'm truly meaning like our innate heart's desires, because there can be things that our ego wants that are not truly our desires. Okay. And I'm not talking about materialistic and non-materialistic. It doesn't really matter. It's really where that like want is coming from. It's not really about the thing. What I mean by that is if you're saying I desire to have a really big house, that's not guaranteed that's actually an ego want, not a heart's desire. Okay. Because we often think, oh, that's a big house, that's materialistic. May or may not be, because believe it or not, our hearts can have these desires that are very much in tune with our soul and our creative genius that can be seen as materialistic because in all honesty, all of it is part of the process. All of it is part of being human. So understanding what your desires are is imperative to actually embodying wealth. And most people don't know what their desires actually are. They tend to have suppressed them over the years. And so when I ask people, what do you really want? Like, what lights you up? Where do you feel that passion in your life? They'll often start saying things, creating a list of, oh, I enjoy this and I enjoy that and I enjoy this. And ironically enough, there won't be any lighting up energetically as they go through those until they hit one and they'll say something and I'll be like, that actually energetically lights you up, right? So that is different than just something that you enjoy doing. And this is the the journey of really understanding who we are. Okay. So it's a bit of a process to really figure out what do you really want? Where is that passion for you? And to start the process off, it really begins in first and foremost your boundaries of your yes and your no. Okay. Because we don't listen to our boundaries. We say yes when we mean no, and we say no when we mean yes, because we're really rooted in a society of people pleasing and being a good person. Now, I'm all about being of love and integrity, but oftentimes how we define being a good person has people pleasing tactics, and it's really not about listening to our own innate wisdom. So I'm always about listening to your own innate wisdom, being in integrity and love, not being quote unquote a good person in that context, in that definition that I just labeled it as. So you have to start to really listening to yourself. And, it doesn't matter what those yeses and nos are. Initially, they can be kind of seemingly not important. When I first started really to explore this, it had a lot to do with my own personal expression and not my voice, although that was a big part of it as well, but like what clothes I wore. And at one point, it was even I had this really strong desire to start wearing eye makeup, like colorful eyeshadow. I had never really worn makeup at all throughout my life, let alone colorful eyeshadow. And this was at the age of 40. So all these limiting beliefs came in, like, you can't do that. What are you thinking? You're 40, you're a mom, you have kids, like all these blah, 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 blahs. And, what does eyeshadow have to do with anything, right? Like, it doesn't seemingly have anything to do with anything. And yet, it was super important for me in my evolution of my personal expression and my creativity. So when I said yes to it, even though I had a lot of apprehension, even though honestly I had a lot of fear, which is just kind of silly, but it was the truth of it. And I started doing it, my creativity really started to flourish, as did my other areas of my expression. So I bring that example in because we often think our desires have to be something grand or related to, saving the planet. And you do have those in some way that is unique to your genius. You have a calling that is unique to you. But to really find that, to really get to that, you have to understand that you have to be willing to listen to your yeses and your nos and abide by them. Full stop. There is no maybe. Maybe is honestly when we aren't listening to the no or yes, and we're trying to kind of like, maybe I can do the other because that's what feels more comfortable. And so we're creating this maybe. It's just a lack of clarity. Okay. Because it just doesn't really exist. It's either a yes or a no. Okay. So understanding your boundaries and how, when you listen to your innate wisdom and listen to your boundaries, you connect more and more to those desires. And those desires will lead you to your wealth. It's just how it is because they lead you to your life's work, to who you truly are as a soul in this human incarnation. So they're really beautiful and they're very, very potent and powerful when it comes to embodying your wealth and creating your wealth. So listen, listen to all the little things of your wisdom, and start taking action on them and have the courage to be really explicit with yourself. When it's a no, it's a no. And when it's a yes, it's a yes. Okay. And the other card was one that we've had before where there is no shortage of money or time. This is obviously a very big message that wants to come through. And when I combine it with the desire card, what I really sense and feel with that is, we often think that we can't pursue our desires. We can't pursue our dreams. We can't pursue these things because, well, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I have to work. I'm a mom. I'm a dad. I have to do these things, right? I have to. I don't have time and money. Right. And those are all belief structures. And we can all create our dreams. We can all really and truly create our vision and our desires. We just have to be willing to keep saying yes to them. And always remember that the how our desires are created is not up to us being the human mind. It is up to us as the higher self. If you set the intention that you really want to pursue your desires in the understanding that it will be the unraveling of your creative genius and the embodiment of your wealth, your higher self will bring you in the guidance. Hold true to that intention, hold fast to that intention. Allow yourself to be guided. How is not up to you. That is up to the eagle eye vision, so to speak, of the higher self. And if you listen to that innate wisdom in your body as well as the higher self, you will get there. You will get there. You will get there. Okay. So remember that there isn't a shortage of anything, and we don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Okay. And maybe that's challenging for some people to hear, but it's the truth of really understanding your innate boundaries, because your boundaries and your desires serve the highest good of all. Always. If you are truly tapped into your wisdom, it always serves the highest good of all. So you don't need to worry about it being selfish, self-centered, etc. You just simply have to have the courage to pursue it. So I hope this has helped you contemplate for this week. What are those desires? What are the things that you're not listening to in your boundaries? Maybe you're saying yes to no's and no's to yeses. What are those? How can you start to shift that? How can you start to live in the courage of following your own innate wisdom? And then where are you telling yourself that you can't, right? That you don't have the time, you don't have the money, you don't have some sort of availability? Where are you telling yourself that? And how can you pivot that perspective and choose to see it differently and instead invite in opportunity through the intention of creating your desires, allowing higher self to guide you towards that? Much love to you all, and I look forward to seeing you next week.